I don't walk down the street in Darlington and get recognised for being the flooring guy.
No autographs then?
Not yet. Not yet. I do joke about it. I'm not
there. Do you want to sign your laminate?
Sign your carpet.
Hello, business people of Earth, and welcome to NEBiznis, the podcast where we find out more about the business people behind the business. On today's show, whenever I pick up the phone to this person and the words come out of his mouth are, I've got a video idea. It could be anything from I'm going to be hitting myself with a hammer for 10 minutes straight to we're going to film a car chase in the countryside. It is Tom Cockerill from Cockerill Co. Welcome to the show, Tom.
Hi, Rob.
You all right?
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's all right.
It's nice to be on the other side of the microphone.
I know I was going to say, it was literally a couple of weeks ago that it was the tables were turned and I was a guest on your podcast, which was very, very weird for me. Good podcast, wasn't it?
We did it. We got it knocked out.
Yeah, it was really good. Now it's your turn.
Oh, no.
You're on the hot seat for the questions and stuff.
Zero prep.
Zero prep.
I love it.
Straight in the questions. One of the questions I ask all my guests on NEBiznis is it actually is a big question for you because I sort of know your origin story and how you started and everything. Just for the people at home, we just a little bit of a back end before I asked the question. We did film a project for one of your events, which talked about your story. A little help from Rihanna. Yeah. Told your story. So for the people at home, can you just let us know what's your origin story and how did you get from there to where you are today?
How long we got here, Rob?
Well, we've got... It's a big story, I know. But...
Right, where do we start? We will start in 2017 is where we'll start. I've been self-employed since 2002.
Yeah.
But I ran a flooring business, built up a flooring business. I feel I did it a slightly difficult way, but so grew it with no help, no outside knowledge, just grew and scaled a business. 2017-18, we made some financial decisions that weren't probably the most favourable. And however, from the back of that, in that we lost the business, lost the house, lost the cars, started back from zero.
Yeah.
That was a flooring business. Mm-hmm. And from there, we created a business consultancy business to help other flooring businesses sort of manage, multiply, and have a better time at work, basically, to make more profit. Yeah. From 2018, we have grown significantly. We recreated the flooring business that was there, and that now longer runs. That was a choice, not an action. So we kept that going for a little bit of time. The business consultancy now works with multi-million pound manufacturers, wholesalers, and suppliers, or we just work with one man or woman in their van. So it's quite a broad range of customers. And from £2.86 as we did a video on where it was from up to where we are now. So it's a bit of a journey.
Definitely.
That's definitely the short version.
Yeah, definitely.
So we help people make more profit running their flooring business.
Fantastic. So with that, I mean, this is a question I asked towards the end of a podcast, but I think it's quite relevant now. If you had a time machine... get the nerd questions out. If you had a time machine, knowing all the journey that you went on, and all the experience and all the ups and downs of what you went through, if you had a time machine, would you go back and change any of it?
No. Probably the decisions I made, but not the business I'm in now. That's the sort of blessing in disguise. Mm-hmm. The business we're running now is where is a dream type of thing. And I think if I'd changed it, I probably wouldn't be in the position I am now. Yeah. So the decisions we made financially, probably yes, but the choice of going on to a business consultancy side, absolutely not. Because I could still be sat in a retail flooring shop in County Durham. There's nothing wrong with that. Mm-hmm. But I significantly enjoy more what I do now. So so
perfect, absolutely perfect. What advice? If a business of any kind, doesn't have to be specifically a flooring business, if a business is going through or has experienced a massive hit, what advice would you give to a business like that?
Ask for help. It would be a really good one. Mm-hmm. Not drop your ego, ask for help, know your numbers, so know actually where you are and where you need to get to. And there were a couple of things that we fell down. We did ask for help, but it was a bit too late.
Right, okay.
And knowing your numbers, that would be the two.
With what you're saying there, like how long was it? I mean, I think there's always a tendency of when you're in business, it's like you're on your own. It's kind of like you just have to problem solve yourself. Yeah. There's obviously that to a degree. At what point did you sort of think, no, this is the time where we need to ask for help?
after the effect.
Yeah.
It was too late.
Yeah.
Too late. Yeah, 100%. I think we should have 5 years before that. The business was profitable, etc. But I think that would have been the point to get some proper help, some proper guidance, and then scale from there, not scale blind.
Yeah.
That would be the main thing. It was just too late. It was too late. We asked for help too late.
Right.
100%.
Okay. With that sort of journey, was there a sort of thing of like you growing too fast, or what kind of things was the
growing too fast and committing to more things on the assumption of how something would be.
Okay.
So we'd had a profitable business for 15 years, and it gone up and gone up and gone up, and we got complacent every year. Every time we'd done the accounts, we were more profitable, more turnover, and we thought, well, if we take this next big leap and spend the returned earnings that we had, it's simply impossible for it to go wrong.
Right. Okay.
And for around 18 months, it was that. And then suddenly, January 17, the trade changed completely.
Right,
and we dropped probably 40% of turnover. And we're not ready for it. And we'd already spent the cash that we had retained for many years on the new building. So it doesn't take a mathematician that the taps are turned off and it sunk the ship. It may have just been a choice decision. Other people may have made it. But let's say if we just stayed the same and put that cash into something else, that business would not have sunk 100%. So you live and learn. But when I look back, definitely the best thing, because now enables us to help other businesses, and we have helped hundreds of other businesses.
Fantastic.
Be more successful by our experience. So that's the thing that's bananas.
Learn from our mistakes.
Exactly, yeah. So we just are not willing to let other families and businesses go through what we went through, and we help people do that.
Yeah.
So
it's a lot of like emotional impact as well, isn't it? It's not just, it is down to the numbers and everything, but it can affect you mentally, and you sometimes you could feel, I mean, every business has ups and downs, but when you get to like a down stage, it affects you emotionally, because what people don't realize about people who start a business is it's very, very much on you. You have to dig yourself out of some holes sometimes, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Well, that's kind of what I say to the clients, that we've got you, as long as you can keep hold of your mental and emotional state and your numbers, pretty much you'll have a handle of it. Forget recruitment, forget advertising, marketing, look after yourself and your numbers. And then learn about the rest. But if you haven't got a handle of your mental and emotional state or your numbers, something's going to go wrong.
Absolutely.
You can have all the money in the bank and become a fruitcake, or vice versa. Be completely on the ball and not have your finances in place.
Yeah.
The rest you can learn, but the rest it's your responsibility to learn that. So it's any business, no matter if you're selling cakes at a cake stall or you're running a global business, if you don't your numbers, you're setting yourself up to fail. So
absolutely, yeah. When I speak to people about podcasts that I've done for clients, the podcast that always comes up first is your podcast.
Is it that memorable?
No, lo and behold, one of the first things they come back to me with is, so it's a podcast about flaws, and they struggle to sort of find out what. Okay, I don't think I can just talk about flaws for a podcast series. What makes your podcast successful?
Me. No.
I do it. It's my hosting skills.
It's all me. Yeah, I was born to podcast.
What makes it work? What makes your podcast work?
Well, I nearly said my sense of humour. That's a really bad thing. No. Extend the door quickly, Rob. I'm not going to get out the door. I think it's like we've demonstrated now, just being real. It would not get listenership if we literally just talked about carpets and we just talked about this. It's about real people with real experiences.
Yeah, absolutely.
No holes barred. Yes, we swear. Yes, we get multi 8-9 figure businesses on there, global businesses. We've been done in the States, we've done different countries, but I don't put my best, let's say, podcast voice on for anyone. No. I just do me. Yeah. I want to know about the real people, and we just keep that. This sounds crap. Keep it real, but that is the success of it, because I genuinely think people.
I wrote in my thing that you put your phone on flight mode and stuff.
Like that. That was a real. No, but it's things like, don't even edit that out, Rob. Just edit it out. Things like that. Just be. For the first 5 episodes, absolutely shit myself thinking, it's got to be this, it's got to be that. What if I don't know this? What if I don't know that? Then from there, I just needed to give a it doesn't matter attitude
Yeah.
and still put it out. And the ones that were the best ones we've done, not scripted in any way, literally like jump in, microphone on, let's go. None of them are scripted, but sometimes we follow some questions or they might have a subject, but the best ones I've done, you clip a microphone on and off you go, bang. Like me and you did. Like, I'm like, you came in and I'm like, how are we going to talk about video for like an hour?
Yeah,
but then 1 hour, 5 minutes later, it's like, well, that was a good podcast, Rob.
Yeah,
None of it was like...
No.
So yeah,
Just natural
that is repetition, and just keep doing it, even when you think no one's listening. Just keep doing it. So it's.
What else have you learned from like say like from your very first podcast? I know you sort of saying about the questions and stuff. How do you think you've evolved as a podcast host over time?
I don't care. Like, and I cared before. Yeah. Like, there's no nerves. There's no anxiety. It's just get on with it. Put it out. Do it. Repeat. That's it. So I probably could upskill. I could probably learn a bit better how to be a presenter, but I haven't. So, and it seems to go down okay. And I think the way I also look at it is, if someone thinks I'm a bit of a knob and they don't want to listen, they're not going to llisten.
They don't have to listen,
but there's plenty of people that do listen.
Yeah.
So that's totally cool. So
how many episodes have you done now?
I should know this.
Know the stats, Tom.
Around 120, 130.
Okay.
No, maybe more. Hang on. Yeah. 130 to 150-ish. I can't remember. I should know, but I don't know. We basically, for about 2.5 years, we've done one a week, give or take. Yeah, so we've missed a few, and we've added a couple in, like on a special episodes, shorter ones. We may even put this one out, Rob, on our. Cross promote podcast.
Absolutely,
yeah. So it's
amazing.
But I should check. But I don't.
What podcasts do you listen to? And what would you recommend to me?
I listen to Paul Mort when he does them, which is very rare, but he does do them. I listen to Diary of CEO, depending on the guest. It's not really, I listen to more the guests than that.
Yeah.
I listen to a lot of Rob Moore's financial ones, again, because I think he's entertaining. Not necessarily about his advice for Rob Moore. But I still enjoy them. That's about it, really. Yeah. I listen to a few car podcasts, which I find entertaining. Nothing really. I'm not massively avid. I do listen to audiobooks as well. So don't listen to my own podcast back, really, unless someone else has recorded them. So,
just to double check there's not any...
no.
Just snuck in a little advertisement in.
No. But yeah, listen to a few. Mainly around property, finance and cars.
Do you find... This could be a question related to your podcast or podcasts you listen to generally. Do you find that podcasts that have a niche work better?
Oh, yeah. I don't... 100%. Yeah, I would... Well, I'm
obviously
speaking from a flooring one,
So obviously a lot of your audience would be people in the industry.
Absolutely, yeah. I'd be very surprised if as many people listen out of the industry. But the strange thing is, I don't know if they would or they wouldn't, but quite a lot of it's relatively relevant. Me and you spoke about video, and that could have been applied... All the stuff we talked about could have been to a plasterer or a painter. It doesn't really matter. But we did tailor it towards flooring. But anyone could have listened to that and got value from it. So I think it is better to niche because your audience. But then again, it does restrict your numbers, because if you could do it, you do a world-class podcast on food, everyone's got to eat. So it's
that's true. That is true.
So
have you from your podcast? Have you ever like bumped into someone at an event or something that they've just has recognised you, or recognised your voice, or recognised your face?
Not my face, my voice. They hear me talking.
They just started talking to you and be like, "Hang on a second."
That's exactly. I'm huffing and puffing because my wife takes the piss out of me, because I will get, at flooring shows and flooring events, I get stopped. Oh, are you, you're that podcast guy?
Yeah.
Yes. God's sake. Oh, I've been listening for 6 months. It's weird to hear your voice in person. Well, it's the same one. It's here all week. So yes, I do. But it only flooring. I don't walk down the street in Darlington and get recognised for being the flooring guy.
No.
But no, flooring related shows and events.
Yeah.
I definitely get comments about this podcast, that podcast. So it's
fantastic.
So yes, so it does work. People do listen.
No autographs then.
Not yet. I do joke about it.
Yeah.
If Sarah goes to an event and I'm not there,
to sign your laminate.
sign your carpet. Yes.
Brilliant, fantastic. Next question. These are two words that make me shiver a little bit. But what do the words make or break mean to you?
Quite a lot.
Yeah.
I've just run one. We run a performance mindset course, which used to be for outside the flooring industry. And you've experienced this firsthand, Rob.
I have, yes.
And yeah, you completed it. We take people completely out of their comfort zones. We give them a price, a destination, and eventually, just before the event, a kit list. And that is all they get. And we proclaim, which have currently 100% success rate, change the way you think about yourself, mentally, emotionally, show you and demonstrate that you can deliver probably anywhere between 20 and 40% more than you're currently achieving in whatever you're doing. That's the premise of the course.
Yeah.
And that's all I can tell you.
I knew that was going to be to fair, you told me more than I thought I was going to get from you, because I did sort of have this thing. What can you tell? What actually can you tell me about the make or break course?
Everyone signs NDAs. You've got to trust it. You've got to speak to people that have already done it, and that's it. And if people want to know any more, that's unfortunately, that's it. That's all we tell you.
Have people failed it?
Yes. We've had 3 men quit. No females quit.
Oh, well, there we go.
We've had 8 lots of blood. We've had 2 visits from the police. We've had 2 marriage breakups.
Wow.
I've got some good stats.
He hasn't got the stats for the podcast, but he's got some good stats for the
What else have we got? And then obviously the main thing is people have completely transformed their life. We've had business owners go from 300 to 2 million in 3 years. Not just because they attended the course, but their confidence grew, and so did their business. So
it's like what you say about the emotional side of running a business. It's just that it's mindset, isn't it?
Yeah. So we remove those barriers, and then they go off to do that thing. So it's just done one with first one we've just done with girls and boys, which was unbelievable. I've always thought it would be a single sex thing where we'd either take girls or boys, and it has worked fantastically. Brilliant. And I've had no complaints. This time we had 6 men, 4 girls. And it worked an absolute treat.
Fantastic.
Brilliant. So,
what's the biggest success story from Make or Break then?
This is going to sound funny. My own, not because I need to extend the door.
Yeah.
Because I did a similar course, like the premise was the same, but I rewrote the course. And if I'd not attended that course, Make or Break would not exist and would not have impacted so many people. And again, that's not like a pitch or not oh, look at me, I've done this course. It genuinely has completely transformed families and businesses' lives. And if I hadn't done the first one and then rewrote it, I wouldn't have had the privilege of doing it. We've done it for 6 years now, so it's a lot of transformation. So the other ones are countless. Everyone's got something different from it. And I'm sure you got something from it, possibly a black eye, but...
Honestly, I can say, I don't know if I told you this before, but like once I did the course, I won't say any details. Once I came off that course and went home, I had a bath as soon as I got home, and I just cried for quite a bit.
Wow, that's
So
what's he done to me?
No, it literally, I was fine. Like the drive home, I was just quiet.
Yeah, and
then just suddenly, I made this hissing noise.
It's Friday night. We've got 0% beer.
I just started hissing. No, I generally did. I just randomly started crying because all that emotion from the event just came out.
Yeah,
and it was a strong emotional impact.
Strangely, one of the guys that's just done it, the room after we were nearly finished, you'll know the room. He just imploded. He was just in the hall, imploded, and I was like, "You all right, man? Like, give me a bit of a cuddle." And he come back and he was fine. But again, the same sort of thing. That was, right near the end. But that's what it's designed to do. It's designed, we have tears, we have smiles, we have laughs, we have hysteric laughs, we have uncomfortableness, we have all sorts of, and that's the point of it. No one wants to do that. No one wants to be uncomfortable. But once you're used to it, things become easier. So it's and I think the other thing that we advise people is they're a little bit tired when they're finished. And I always find 2 days later, you have a little bit of an emotional, depressed, sort of very low point for maybe half a day or a day. And then it becomes normal. And then at that point, you need to decide to take action or go back to the way you were. And most people do take action. You get that electrical feeling, but
it's up to them, like what they choose to do with that experience afterwards, isn't it? Yeah, no, I did enjoy the course, more so on reflection than in the moment doing it. But I was doing a bit of because I was doing like a teaser trailer for it, wasn't I?
Yeah.
There was really good moments where I was asking, Tom was like, "Yeah, I need a drone shot of this this bit, Rob. Can you do this?" Yeah, I'll have a break and do this. So for some parts, not a lot of it, I had moments of get out of jail free.
Yeah, you had to do some work and then straight back into
into it. Yeah. The hardest parts, no, that wasn't. I didn't get out of that one, but no, it's really good. I mean, if you'd ever do a course again where it's more open to other people, I totally recommend it.
Well, if anyone listens, get in touch. Definitely always show them. Our course is going to be for flooring professionals. But you don't, as you well know, you would fit in not being a flooring professional. It doesn't actually matter. So, if anyone's thinking, what's this, and they listen to the podcast, probably one being in October. There'll probably be one in March. We haven't quite decided, but it's maximum twice a year. So, if anyone wants to take the plunge, challenge me.
It's always changing as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we're actually we spoke a little bit about that film that I made for you in terms of your story, and that was for one of your flooring freedom courses.
That was. Yeah.
So what is flooring freedom?
It's
passing over.
Give me the disease. Flooring freedom is a business course for flooring professionals that teaches you finance, mindset, performance, marketing, recruitment, future planning, and everything in between. It does not teach you anything to do with installation of floors. It is how to run a successful flooring business in 2 days. That's it. So anything from one man in a van up to probably 4 million quid. That's the sort of about, so from under VAT registration to about 4 million quid, it's suitable for that flooring contractor.
It's grown quite a bit, isn't it? Because you've sort of done it in multiple venues. You've done it at smaller venues and you've done it at big venues. And
we've done 6 people and we've done 60 people. So it's both from very different views. You videoed the bigger one, which was fantastic. Brilliant for the Instagram likes and all that type of stuff, but personal.
I was going to say,
it wasn't. It was more of a conference. Yeah. Even though the content was, we pulled it off. We pulled tech that we didn't even know we had out of our, that worked. But it was a conference rather than a course.
Yeah, that's
and then we went straight back to maximum 15, and that works better, much better.
I think as well, like people can ask questions, feel more comfortable to ask questions, and they're getting the answers they want rather than just what you think they'll benefit from. What's the biggest success story from a flooring freedom course then?
Probably client success stories, like they attend the course, believe in that, and then they'll come onto the mentoring, and they'll just completely transform their financial and business position. We've had clients 10 flooring freedom with very poor on time, doing 200 or 300 grand, stuck in a bit of a rut. Now they're multi 7 figures and they work 4 days a week and have 6 holidays a year.
Amazing.
And I'm not saying that it's like we've got this magic key. They have done the work themselves.
Yes.
We have just guided them and given them the tools to do it. And that's the thing that I think people get confused with. It's not, we have a bit of a laugh within our community. Like it's a scam, it's a con. It's not that. If you don't do the work, it's not going to work. But people think you're going to get this golden key. But the ones that do the work get the results. And even the ones that don't do the work see the ones getting the results and still think, and it inspires others. So there's been multiples that have just were time poor and now the opposite and actually have time. There's not even one that would stand out. There's probably 20 plus.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
do you enjoy doing them? Enjoy running the courses?
You know me, Rob. I like to do something different every time.
Yeah.
So I used to really enjoy them. I now feel like it feels a bit the same because I can't change it. And like make or break, I change every time and things like that. Yeah. Flooring freedom, we don't change because it works. It gives you the right information. I haven't lost the passion for it because it's what comes afterwards. It's the byproduct of it. We may get new clients, we get new people to work with, they get to understand who we are, and that's the byproduct. But delivering the course, if I had a choice of doing it or not doing it, I'd not do it.
Fair enough.
Simply because I don't like doing the same thing 2 or 3 times. Well, 2 or 3 times is fine. 3 to 10 times, it's got to be a bit different. It's got to be. So that's probably the only reason. So the byproducts make it completely worth doing. So
So would you say the people is the sort of the main thing?
That's it. Yeah, that's it. I've never been, sounds like a limiting belief, but no. I'm not even going to say a confident presenter. That's the wrong way of putting it. I've always steered away from presentation, public speaking, and things like that. And obviously, it comes part of the job. So it's never been really enjoyable. Even when before I used to get nervous, I don't get nervous now. But I still don't jump out of bed and go, "Yes, I'm presenting in front of 20 people today."
No,
I just don't.
No.
Even though I've got no nerves, before I would jump out of bed saying I'm shitting myself, I'm still presenting in front of 20 people. I enjoy the one-to-one.
Yeah.
I enjoy smaller groups. I enjoy seeing the results. I enjoy people seeing them doing the work. But it's a necessary evil. So that's just my straight and honest opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I've noticed. I mean, obviously, we've known each other for, I don't know how long we've known each other for now.
A long time.
A long time.
Too long.
Don't say it like that. I mean,
I'm surprised you've not disowned me yet.
But I've noticed a change in you. I mean, I don't know if that's. I suppose I've known you through quite a lot of your journey, and I've sort of seen how far you've come in terms of your presentation and whatnot. And it will
have been 2017-18.
Oh, so it literally would have been on the point. Yeah,
because I exited that business to try and to go and work for other companies to fund the home, to pay the mortgage, etc. While Sarah tried to save the business, and that's where I joined a networking group to try and get more business in, and that's where we first met. So it will have been 2017-18.
Oh, wow, okay.
So there you go. So and that was at the lowest point of. I remember those meetings thinking I am trying to stand up. I'm going to die. Me seat here.
You're not listening to anyone. You just sort of concentrate. I'm coming up.
I would literally sit shaking, and sometimes I still comes back and gets me, but then sometimes I just couldn't give a flying monkey. I went to a networking event the other day, and it was and I even came out and I rang Sarah on the way home. I was speaking not just about this, but I spoke to her and I was like, absolutely no nerves, and about 50 people in the room. I just it's just repetition. But so that's weird. That is weird that you have seen the whole journey, the whole everything.
Yeah, that's amazing. So, when you're not helping flooring businesses, what do you do in your spare time?
Currently, cycling, because I'm training for a big event, Fred Whitten, which is 119 miles over all the biggest roads in the Lake District. So it's 4 mountains on a push bike. It's the hardest road race in the country. And if anyone knows me, I'm 16 stone and don't look like a cyclist. So, but that's what I'm currently doing every morning, trying to get fit and mentally aware for that. Bought a renovation property, which is a forever house. So I'm always painting, putting fence posts in, building cinema rooms and all sorts of amazing things. I've currently just built a full-size half pipe in our back garden. So DIY is a big thing. If I wasn't doing all that, it would be more cycling and running and probably watching films and just chilling out with family and holidays. But at the moment, the house is consuming my life.
Oh dear.
So it's good. It's good. That was the dream. That was what I signed up to. So so it's
there's still a house to live in though.
Yes. We just need to build another bit on the other side. So yes, I still have a house.
With you sort of saying about exercise and things like that. I suppose it's part and parcel, and I've not experienced myself. But what is an ice bath? Because I've seen you do lots of.
What's an ice bath?
Well, I've seen you.
With ice in it, Rob. Right.
What's it do? What's the whole thing behind it? Because I've seen you and Sarah on social media about it, and I just don't understand it. So I want you to explain it to me.
Right. Okay. So obviously, an ice bath is a bath with water and ice in it.
I got that bit.
If you hadn't guessed. And basically, so a really good way of describing this: people change their mental and emotional state, with, let's say, alcohol, drink, drugs, food. You are looking for a result in how you feel.
Right.
Okay, so if me and you went down the town and had 5 pints each, we're going to feel different. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you watch a sad film, you may feel sad, right? So that's the premise of this, right?
Yeah.
If you get into an ice bath, it's not pleasant in any way,
no.
Right? But what you do is you get into the ice bath, submerge your head. It's cold, obviously.
I don't know you submerge your head.
Preferably. You don't have to, but it works better if you submerge your head. And you want to probably stay in anywhere between this is my find, some people might find this different, 1 minute 30 to about 5 minutes ish, depending on how cold it is. It depends if it's in the summer, depends if you put ice in it, all these type of things. But you're basically trying to get your body to equalise to the temperature.
Right, okay.
Which is the painful bit, which is the stupid bit, the bit that never gets easier. It's not pleasant.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sell it to you. Sometimes in the summer, it's quite refreshing.
I feel like a little bit.
In December, it's absolutely fucking horrific. However, You get out the ice bath,
Yeah.
right, and then get a shower, get changed. From that point onwards, that's where the results are.
Right, okay.
So imagine having a couple of cans of Prime or a couple of cans of Red Bull, and maybe you've just watched a bit of comedy, and then listen to your favourite song. That's the energy levels that it creates.
Right.
So imagine that Red Bull, comedy, happy feeling.
Yeah.
It kind of releases endorphins, and then that kind of seems to last, in my case, till after lunch. So basically, if you've got an important meeting, if you want to be more switched on, or vice versa, if you're feeling a bit shit and a bit like obviously we're doing this podcast later in the afternoon. So if we'd done this at 9 o'clock tonight, but I'd done an ice bath at like 8:30, I would show up differently to the podcast to what I would do if I just showed up. So
that'd be an interesting experiment.
So you're sharper, you are more switched on, you feel full of energy, and that's the positive bit. So that's the only positive bit. The bit getting to there is probably one of the only things I ever do that hasn't got easier. You know, like it's still,
I was going to ask about it.
Yeah, it does, everything else I've ever done, like cycling, climbing mountains, everything like that. It doesn't. That gets easy with practice. Apart from actually just doing it and getting on with it.
Yeah.
It still hurts sometimes.
Yeah.
It's still unpleasant, but the after effects are always the same. So So
it's not like you can do it for longer or anything.
I've not found
No.
The only bit where it's nice is, if you've got a nice summer day like today or something like that, 19 degrees, it's obviously been sat all day. It's a little bit warm. It's still cold.
Yeah.
But the difference between that, maybe if that's 12 degrees and in the winter it's 3, it's just temperature. So but it's a bit more refreshing because you're warm. But yeah, it changes your mood and changes your energy level quickly. So it's no different if someone rolls out of bed and gets a can of Monster. They're looking for a result. They're not drinking the can of Monster because it tastes absolutely amazing, but they're looking for a buzz. They're looking for a lift, and it's an artificial lift, but the ice bath was the same. So,
okay, fair enough.
So I'm quite passionate about them, but it's the other thing they do, which I back and understand, is if I've done a race or something else, it's really good for recovery, blood circulation. If you've been out for like a hike or your legs are really sort of tired and achy and you're stumbling about sometimes like I am, getting in the ice bath can actually relieve the pain. Lots of health benefits.
Okay.
So it does, And I think also in the winter when you've done them, you become more susceptible to cold, so you don't feel that, so if you go out down the town with your coat on, you're not freezing cold because your body tends to get used to it. But mainly recovery and mood. Yeah, that's how I should have answered the question.
Oh, that's really good. You mentioned briefly when you were talking about your house about films. We're going into the quick fire questions now. Yeah. What's your all-time favourite film?
Enemy of the State.
Why is that your favourite film?
Don't know. I've probably watched it 20 times.
Yeah.
So it's just something I can repeatedly watch.
Yeah.
I think The Blues Brothers is good. I think Top Gun's good. But Enemy of the State is my favourite film. I always watch it thinking, it's so old. I think it's like 81 or something. I don't know. It's like mad. But it's still feels relevant. And I'm like, there isn't new films that are coming out that are this good.
What would you say is your kryptonite? What's your biggest weakness?
Food. Food. I feel I've got a handle on my mindset, business, finance. Yeah. But I still can't feel like I've got a handle on food. I'm not. Is
it something you want to get a handle on?
Yeah, 100%. I'm actually, I'm quite happy to say, I'm taking performance coaching at the moment that are based around food and my mindset around. I just think it's really like I'm here drinking a zero beer. Because I used to drink on a Friday, Saturday sometimes, and that used to be like a non-negotiable. But I've
just
made
a part of your routine.
It was just a part of the routine.
Yeah.
And now I see no value in drinking alcohol. I enjoy a beer. Don't get me wrong. But a beer with alcohol in, I don't see the value because I lose too much time. I lose too much focus. So the kryptonite at the moment is still food because I still haven't got that full resistance. If I've had a busy day, which I'm 1,000 mile an hour, I'll still go home and smash a pizza. But I won't go home and smash 4 cans.
No,
I won't get up and not exercise. But that's my honest but accurate opinion.
Fantastic. Now I asked you the TARDIS question already. So, but it's just out of interest in like sort of your personal life. If you did have a time machine, would there be anything you'd go back and change? Any advice you'd give to yourself?
No, but back to exactly what we said. Just know my numbers, ask for help sooner.
Yeah,
and that again, that could be any form of help in any in anything so like if you wanted to upskill in different filmmaking, if you wanted to do podcasts, ask for help. that by far, and probably deal with your insecurities quicker. So that's how I would run my businesses differently.
If you could have any superpower, which superpower would you have?
Invisibility would good.
Don't bother me.
What superpowers are there? There's invisibility.
There's all sorts. There's flight, super speed.
Do you know what it would be, Rob? Do you know what it would be? I don't know if it's a superpower or not, but the thought of dying scares the shit out of me.
Okay.
So if I could have a superpower that I could never die, that would be...
That's an interesting one.
Yeah.
Immortality.
Yeah. If it was physically impossible for me to die, that would be it. Because every time I think, that concerns me.
Okay. Final question. Where can people find you?
On a Peloton, someone ran away there. Social media at Cockerill Co. Website, cockerillco.co.uk. LinkedIn, Cockerill Co. or Tom Cockerill.
And obviously your podcast as well.
That might help, yeah. It's the UK Flooring Podcast.
It's a brilliant podcast.
Yeah,
no, definitely check it out. It's such a good podcast. As we mentioned, I had the pleasure of being on one. Yeah, Tom's a great host.
I try.
I just want to say thank you very much for being a part of this podcast, Tom. It's been brilliant having you on. And thanks for having me on your podcast the other day as well.
Yeah.
So to you, the people at home, thank you for tuning in to this episode of NEBiznis. Remember to like, subscribe, favourite on whatever platform that you are tuning in on. Until next time, thanks again, Tom, for being my guest today. And until next time... I was going to have that, no problem. You're going to start hitting myself in the head now. Until next time, if you have any business, that's our business.